Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop, and it's time to go back to the theater. And 50 years after the original Exorcism, now it's double the fun. My review of the 2023 supernatural horror film, The Exorcist Believer, coming up now. In Haiti, photographer Victor Fielding and his wife Serene, who's pregnant, are vacationing when an earthquake strikes and leaves Serene gravely injured, where the doctors can only save their daughter. 13 years later, Victor is a single father raising their daughter Angela in Georgia. One day, Angela and her friend Catherine go into the woods where they try to perform a seance to communicate with Angela's mother. The girls end up going missing for 3 days, leaving Victor and Catherine's parents in a state of panic, and when they're found, the pair have no recollection of what happened to them and thought they were only gone a few hours. Soon, Angela and Catherine begin acting in a bizarre fashion, to say the least, and Victor's neighbor and Angela's nurse at the hospital believes them to be possessed, telling Victor of Chris McNeil, the mother who had battled demons like this 50 years before. Chris comes to the help of the parents and tries to save their daughters before it's too late. So what did I think of The Exorcist Believer? I thought it's a serviceable supernatural horror sequel. While it's the 6th entry in the Exorcist franchise, it's a direct sequel to the first film, pretending that nothing else ever happened. It's directed by David Gordon Green, best known for directing films such as George Washington, All the Real Girls, Pineapple Express, Joe, and of course his infamous Blumhouse Halloween trilogy. While the original Exorcist is still one of the scariest films I've ever seen, I wouldn't say anything here is scary per se, but there are some effectively creepy moments, with a big round of applause to the makeup artists, making the two girls look unnerving. There are a couple of effective jump scares thrown in as well. Of course, there's a number of possession movie tropes throughout, some of which actually work here, others that are just played out. I really enjoyed 2/3 of the film. First, the beginning, with Angela and Catherine missing and trying to piece together what happened to them and where they were. I also liked the film's final act with the exorcism itself, as it can get rather tense and culminates in a pretty decent ending. The middle of the film, however, I found to be frustrating and lackluster, as there's really only a few memorable scenes that stand out, and could have used a bit more excitement, as it's basically just treading water until its finale. The pacing oddly drags at times and cuts quarters, speeding things up a few minutes later. I wish that they would have given Ellen Burstyn more to do as well, as it felt like wasted potential, and it's a bit shoehorned in how they bring her into the storyline to begin with. The dialogue can be rather corny at times too, making me unintentionally laugh. There are 2 other films planned as well, as Blumhouse spent $400 million to get the rights to the franchise, and I'd be interested in seeing where the story goes from here. The performances are good and end up elevating the material, starring Leslie Odom Jr. as Victor Fielding, the single father who's lost his faith after the loss of his wife, trying to figure out what's going on with his daughter, Ann Dowd as Nurse Ann, Angela's nurse at the hospital and neighbor with a religious past, Jennifer Nettles as Miranda, Catherine's mother and devout Protestant, Lydia Jewett as Angela, Victor's daughter who begins feeling strange after her disappearance, Olivia Narcombe as Catherine, Angela's friend who begins acting odd, and Ellen Burstyn as Chris McNeil, the former actress who's become an expert of sorts on exorcisms after her daughter's experience 50 years before. While The Exorcist Believer didn't exactly make my head spin with terror, it was entertaining, creepy, and watchable enough for a mild recommendation. Number-wise, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, which gives it the A-list rating of do it. It's a small do it, but a do it nonetheless. Alright, well that's the show. I'll be back with another review very soon. But until then, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment right here on YouTube. YouTube.com/WestsideOf515. Like the show on Facebook, Facebook.com/WestTroopAlist. And of course, you can follow me on the X, the Instagram, and the Letterboxd at WesAlist. Until next time, Troop out.